Book 1, The 10X Rule. Author, Grant Cardone. Chapter 1. What is the 10X Rule? Every person has some goals in life. And if you limit these goals, for example, by saying, I don't need to be rich, just wealthy, or, I want to lose at least 2 kilograms, then you are violating the 10 times more rule. Since by starting to limit the level of success you desire, you limit both the actions and efforts that are needed to achieve success itself. Therefore, you must set goals for yourself that are 10 times greater than your desires and aspirations, and then you must do 10 times more to achieve those results. And in the end you may end up achieving, although not 10 but 6 or 7 times more than you planned in advance. Chapter 2. Why the 10X Rule is necessary. We usually underestimate the amount of time, energy, money and effort required to achieve a goal. For example, we may not get a client by sending him just 1 letter. For this we need 10 times more letters, calls or contacts with him. Or when you start a business you may expect to earn it in 6 months and then make a net profit, but in reality it may take you 3 years for your business to start supporting you. And if you first set such a short deadline and fail to achieve it, you will most likely quit everything and go back to work. But if you immediately set yourself a deadline of 3 years, then all this time you would work with full enthusiasm. Chapter 3. What is success? Success means something different for each person, and it also changes throughout life. For example, when you are only 20, success for you will be a good job buying your own apartment and car, and by the age of 30 success will already be marriage, children or travel. Success is very important in a person's life. If a person did not strive for it, then he would have no need to improve himself, and companies would not develop, and in the end everything would cease to matter. And having achieved something, a person should set himself the goal of achieving the next success. Achieving success increases a person's confidence and strengthens his sense of security and stability. If a person who dreamed of opening his own store does so, he can let everything take its course and begin to relax and travel, thereby stopping him from achieving further success, i.e., increasing sales or introducing new marketing strategies, and eventually his business will make less and less profit and eventually fail. Chapter 4. Success is your duty. You shouldn't lie on the couch and hope that success will come to you on its own. People without motivation usually start drinking alcohol and taking drugs, i.e., such people do not live but simply exist. They say about successful people that they were just lucky, but in fact, luck is the result of those who act the hardest. The more a person works, the luckier he is. For example, Colonel Sanders, who founded KFC, had to talk about his idea more than 80 times to get anyone to believe in it. And if from today you achieve success in something every time, then it will become a habit and become a normal way of your life. Chapter 5. Don't be a whiner. It is impossible to achieve anything if you constantly make excuses for yourself. Anyone who blames others for something that happened or didn't happen will never attract true success in life. You must take responsibility for everything that happens to you. If you pretend to be a victim, you will live with this feeling for the rest of your life. Therefore, from this day forward, always take matters into your own hands, whether you control it or not. For example, if your lights are turned off, then you should not blame the electricians, but you need to think about what needs to be done so that next time it does not cause you any damage. And perhaps you will decide that this happened because you did not have a spare generator and therefore you need to go out and buy one. In this case you have taken responsibility and this problem will not bother you anymore. Never blame anyone for your failures, just figure out how to reduce the likelihood that a similar incident will happen to you again. Chapter 6. 4 levels of action. There are 4 options. 1. Do nothing. At this level you stop achieving goals or learning anything. In this case, the person gives up his dream and now agrees with everything that can happen to him. And if he is asked why he does not do anything, the person begins to come up with various excuses. 2. Retreat. Those who retreat try to avoid the negative consequences that they think will arise as a result of their actions. Because they may have already had some negative experience in the past, such as a breakup in a relationship, and now they are trying to avoid new relationships, or saying, "The stock market sucks, I will never invest there again," or "Why read motivational books if they don't help?" 3. Operate at an ordinary level. People in this category do enough to have a normal marriage and a normal career, but they never get to the level of real success. Admit it to yourself. Are you using all your creativity and all your energy? Do you try to make the most of your working time, or do you sometimes take time off from work? Most likely many who listen to this book are at this level, since the previous 2 would not even include it. 4. Act on a large scale. Children can be included in this category because they learn something new every day and expend an incredible amount of energy throughout the day. You too must give your best, applying the 10 times more rule at this level. Call 10 times more clients during the day. Spend more time learning new skills than you did before. And when people start telling you, "You work so hard, how do you not get tired?" this is a sign that you are acting on a large scale. Every day you have to work as if your life depended on it. And if they start calling you in a bad way a workaholic or obsessed with work, then you must remember that such people are below the 4th level, because successful people will never judge you for working too hard, because they know what it takes to succeed. Chapter 7. Mediocrity is the key to failure. Many companies disappear because they have mediocre products, average management, and employees' average thinking, and everything about their company is average. Therefore you need to be different from others. For example, Howard Schultz traveled all over the country to talk to Starbucks customers on the topic, how the company can serve customers even better. So he not only learned the wishes firsthand, but also became closer to the customers, as this was written about in various media. What other leader has done this? No. Or for example, the employees of your cafe can wear uniforms of a certain theme, like the decorations of the entire cafe. Look for creative ideas that will set you apart from your competitors. Chapter 8. 10x Goals. As we originally said, when we lower our goals, we also lower our actions and the energy expended to achieve that goal. But when you apply the 10x rule, you will begin to put all your effort into achieving your goal. So when you think about it, who would be consistently inspired by an activity that would at best produce an average return? That's why people refuse such projects. Get yourself a notebook where you write down your goals every day. And write them as if you have already achieved each of them, so you psychologically try on yourself the achieved result. For example, I wrote and published 12 or more best-selling books. In 6 months I will be in perfect physical shape. I have 100 apartments. Real estate, for example, in the last version we have as many as 100 apartments. This is a goal that we would not give up, but we may not achieve it, and all the same, the juicier and higher the goal, the more likely it is that you will have enough motivation to move towards this goal and break through resistance. Achieving something should always fill your thoughts every second of every day. Surely everyone has an activity that captivates them, after which time flies unnoticed. This is how you should approach everything you do, from starting a business to learning foreign languages. If you enjoy gaming, think of everything you do as a kind of game where you gain experience when you achieve a certain goal. Many people achieve or do not achieve something only because people around them do or do not do it. For example, the majority study at university not because they want to, but because many enter it after school. They don't learn other languages because no one around them does it. Thus, your environment manipulates both you and your goals. You should set goals for yourself, not for someone else. Chapter 9. Promise 10 boxes. Some books say that you need to promise less and do more. But this is stupid. For example, if you have an excellent performance, then you won't say in advertising that it is mediocre, then very few people will come to you. In fact, you need to promise a lot and deliver even more. If you have a really good video course, then you can describe it as something incredible that will benefit people, and give them some additional courses or a discount on subsequent ones. Chapter 10. Expand. Always, never contract. In times of crisis, many companies begin to downsize, but there is a small percentage of people and companies that on the contrary begin to expand, i.e., they get the opportunity to recapture territory from those who have taken a defensive position and reduce costs. Cutting back is a type of retreat, and it violates the 10x rule, which requires you to keep going regardless of the circumstances. Of course, there are situations when it is necessary to defend, retreat and economize, but this should not be done for long, in order to prepare and attack again. Downsizing should not be a permanent business strategy. For example, during an economic downturn, when everyone starts cutting money on advertising and laying off staff, don't follow everyone else. On the contrary, reduce your salary and redirect the money to increase advertising costs and attract new people to the team. This way you will increase your influence in the market and take market share from those companies that have retreated. At the same time, require your employees to use their energy, ingenuity, creativity and persistence tenfold. They must call 10 times more clients per day, make 10 times more interesting posts on social networks, etc. Chapter 11. Fear is an excellent indicator. If you are not worried, it means that you are only doing what is familiar and familiar to you and are not moving further. But if you push yourself to a higher level, you will become afraid. You must use fear as an incentive to move forward and take action, not as an excuse to stop acting or retreat. As a child, everyone was probably afraid of the monster hiding in the closet or under the bed. Then fear served as an indicator for you to check what or who was hiding there. But in the end, all children understand that these monsters do not exist, they are only in their heads. Adults have other fears that should also prompt him to act. For example, if you are afraid to call a client, then this is a sign that you need to call him. If you are afraid to talk to a girl, then this suggests that you need to decisively approach her and start a conversation, and you should not put it off until later to prepare. You must do it here and now. It is the one who does what he is afraid of who will be the person who will make the most progress towards his goal. Chapter 12. The myth of time management. If you want to manage time and seek balance in life, you need to determine what is truly important to you. In what areas of life do you want to succeed, and in what quantity? Write them down in order of importance. Then look at how much time you have and decide when you will allocate time to each activity, each area. Also keep a notebook where you write down where you spend your time during the day. Write down every second. This is the only way you will see everything on which you are wasting your time, all sorts of habits and activities that do not lead you to success. If some event happens in your life, for example, the birth of a child, then you must adjust your list of order of importance. And the child should become another reason to achieve success and not an excuse to work less. And here the people of the first 3 levels of action will begin to tell you that life according to a schedule is not life, that you need to take your time, relax, and just be content with what you have. People tell you this in order to feel better about themselves and somehow justify themselves. But with this attitude towards life, they will never achieve anything, and again they will begin to put everything off for later and blame everyone and everything for their failures. You must use the 10 times more rule so that when you achieve your goal you will feel a sense of pride in the work you have done. Chapter 13. Successful. To be or not to be. In order to become successful, you need to think and act the same way as successful people do. For example, have an I can point of view. Such people look at any situation from the point of view that results can be achieved under any circumstances. They always say, we can do it, or let's figure out how to do it. These people enjoy learning new things and explaining them to others, and when they encounter difficulties they take it as a challenge and act with a positive attitude. Create wealth. Attitudes towards money vary from person to person. The poor believe that they have to work to earn money and then they spend their whole lives on something meaningless, or they save it for the rest of their lives for nothing without spending it. Successful people make sure that money brings money. To do this, they invest in various companies to create their own products or provide services. Enjoy the changes. Unsuccessful people do everything so that nothing changes. They do not look for new ways to develop their business and do not use new discoveries and inventions. Successful ones don't change strategies that work, but test them every time to make them work even better, and are always looking for upcoming changes in the market. They know that you have to adapt to change every day, otherwise you will stop winning. Well, read as many books as possible and then apply your new knowledge in practice. In the USA, successful people read at least 60 books a year. And on this video has come to an end. Subscribe to the channel, click on the bell and write comments. And I went to make a new book. I hope the new book will come out quickly enough.